but it's been so successful. Did I tell you 3 million people?
Wow.
It's not bad, is it? For a Facebook page, there's a radio station have just announced their figures, and I think they've got about just under 140,000 listening in the week. And I thought, I think I can get that for a 30-second video without a transmitter. It's crazy.
Scottie, I don't understand why there is no Scottie McClue show on the BBC Scotland channel. I don't
understand it either. I know that the management have changed, and what's always very interesting with me, you know my track record, Sean, right? And it goes back 34 years, right? The Scottie McClue show, 34 years, always very successful, always huge audiences, always. And I never, ever charged anything like the show was worth. Do you know what I mean? And yet we still, I would say, were well paid. But, and I did do a week for the BBC, but at that time they were very news heavy. And I think that a lot of journalists, bless them, a lot of them do a wonderful job, but a lot of journalists don't quite get the big showbiz thing.
Aye.
You see?
I mean, Scottie, but there are some fantastic shows on the BBC Scotland channel.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff, no. And I just hope that somebody goes, whoa, wake up, who's this guy? Because they might be new to it. Things change all the time. And I remember a big boss saying to me, he said, perhaps they don't have a job for you, Scottie. Remember, you've been about a long time. I said, well, media career over 40 years. 42 years this year. And he said, well, you see, a lot of people's media careers like 3 years, 5 years. He said 42 years, almost unheard of. And of course, some of the late Terry Wogan, huge, I think Terry retired at 70. I'm just ready to start,
Yep. I'll tell you something, Scottie. I think the BBC Scotland channel are missing a trick with you.
I think they are. I think a late night phone in. And I know that one of the big bosses at the BBC did seriously try, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, to say, look, can we not just get this guy, You always know it's positive when you ring somebody and they go, can you come and see me? I can't see you today or tomorrow. How are you placed for Thursday? Something like that. You think, oh, they know their stuff. Or, Scottie, I can't promise you anything, but do you want to come in and have a coffee with me? These are all lovely, positive stuff. But sometimes you'll speak to somebody and you'll say, would you be interested in having a chat? No, we've not got anything like that. And I think, well, I know, that's why we're having a chat. You see? And or the other one, what was the other beauty I got one time? Somebody was starting a television station down south. And I rang them up and said, you should have a look at putting me on, because I've got a plan. I'll sort your station right away. And there's nothing arrogant about that, Sean. I just know how to go about it, in the same way that the decorator knows how to go about doing up your hall, So,
absolutely.
Well, we said to him, he said, Scottie, of course I've heard of you, but I fail to see how a Scottish, he added Scottish, right? I'm huge all over England. People said, oh, such a shame when that ended. I think, well, 2 days later, we were right across England. So Scotland's loss was England's gain when it came to talk shows at night. And, and we did that for years. And a lot of people don't realise that. They think, oh, Scottie disappeared and that was the end of that. No. Newsflash, we got another 20 years out of it, And what was interesting was, I said to the guy at the top of the thing, he said, I failed to see, and I thought, you failed to see. I thought, that's it, you failed to see. So he was actually, without realising it, admitting that he didn't understand how that game worked.
Aye. No, I'll tell you something.
And it was his station did flop, you know, sadly.
I'll tell you what though, a Scottie McClue show on BBC Scotland Channel, which is a chat show with a phone in as well.
Phone in?
And some nice guests would be fantastic.
Some nice guests, because you used to do a lot of interviewing, lovely musicians. I had people like David Icke on, fascinating, 30 years ago. You know, very interesting. We used to have the Medium on. I don't know if the BBC can do that, but he was so popular. And people say, I don't believe that. And if you'd heard this guy, Sean, you know, his last call was, there was two amazing calls. And one he said to this girl, it wasn't just your dad, though. Your dad had a brother, didn't he? And she said, no, there was my dad, he did have a brother, but there was just the two of them. He said, no, he had another brother, love. He said, what was your dad's name? And she said, William or something. What was, you know, what was your dad's brother called? John, right? No, this is Henry. Oh, no, we never had a Henry. And he said, well, I'm telling you, you actually did, love. You did. I don't know what you know about it, but you certainly had a Henry. There was three brothers. There was your father, and there was William, and there was Henry. And she said, no, I don't think so. I don't think, you see. And then he said, have a think, love, have a think. Even go back in history. Anything you've heard, anything you know. There was a pause, and then she goes, Uncle Harry, my dad's brother, he died. And he said, yeah, I know. I know that. That's why I'm getting such a strong feeling about him. So that was one call, Sean. The next one, the last one, he said, I can see a man, love. He's beautifully dressed. He's passed. He's on the other side. He's beautifully dressed. And he's sleeping. And he's surrounded by red roses. I think a lot of red roses, love, is surrounded by red roses. And she said, James, me and my three sisters put red roses in his coffin. Now, this is scary stuff. Now, part of my brief, take the mince out of all that stuff. Yeah, make it out to be a laugh. I said, I'm sorry, but this guy is so good, it's not funny. And the phone lines, you couldn't get through. You know, so it's very interesting. I think a lot of these people need to look at what the audience want. Every new year, almost without fail, complaints. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, it was rubbish over the new year.